So I am trying something new today, and I really hope this works. I'm having a guest speaker, and you guys are just going to have to deal with me. Okay, yes, here he is.
See if I did it right. All right, Gus, we got you. We did this.
We did it. Yay.
All right. See, you can't get past a couple of Mainers. We're good. Can you see me and hear me?
Yep,
Okay.
I can hear you great.
Awesome. I'm actually going to turn you on the computer, I think, because I can't hear very well from my phone, but that's okay. Nope, I'm not going to do that. All right, we're going to do it this way. So Gus, for everybody watching, is an agent up in the Bangor area. I'm going to let you talk a little bit about yourself. I'm going to move a little closer just so I can hear you. And then we're going to talk about Gus and some of his investments that he's done lately.
Cool. So hello, everyone. My name is Gus Ofili. I'm a real estate agent at ERA Dawson, located in Bangor, and I'm also an investor. At this current time, my portfolio holds 49 units total. I've gone and got those units, different ways. Probably, the popular ways you guys have heard. I was able to go ahead and learn and implement that in my business. And I'm just trying to grow more and more. I put a lot of stuff on social media, and I'm kind of transparent when I put stuff, the good, the bad, the ugly. I feel like the more you're transparent with everyone, the more they relate to it. So I guess that's me in a nutshell. I'm originally from Connecticut. I moved up here to go to college back in, now I'm aging myself, back in 2005.
You're not that old.
Well, thank you very much. But been in Maine. I fell in love with Maine, and now I'm sitting here with another real estate agent that's killing it in Southern Maine. We actually met on Clubhouse, and now we're bringing it to Facebook Live.
Yes, we are. So, Gus, I want to say that Gus, the reason why I wanted him on is because I am so inspired. I bought my first investment property just this year in October, and I follow you, I watch you, I love what you do. I love what you do as an agent, but I'm so interested in what you do from an investment standpoint. So, to make things tangible to kind of the viewers, your average person in Maine, New Hampshire, how did you finance your first investment property?
So for me, everyone's gonna have different stories how they go about their first property. Now, mine, it doesn't have a lot of spice and things that come along with it. So my first property was a 5 unit, and when you purchase a 5 unit, you have to go the commercial route. And most times going the commercial route, you have to put 20 to 25% down. I've even heard 30% down. Fortunately enough, I had to put the 20% down. And 2 years leading up to that, I was a real estate agent. So my mindset was sell as many houses as possible, put smiles on people's face. And if I'm able to put smiles on people's faces, they're going to refer me out to more and more people. So I saved my money and I put 20% down on my first property.
Awesome. That's awesome. And you definitely put smiles on faces. You were talking about how you're really transparent, and everybody should go and follow Gus on Instagram, especially, right?
Yeah.
If you want to see the real Gus, but also on Facebook. He does some amazing things, and he's really transparent about his experiences with his investments. So you said you had 49
Yes,
units?
ma'am.
That's insane. So what tips and tricks do you have for basically leveraging the equity or turning one investment into more?
I think the biggest thing when you're in this investing game, you're going to hear about all these methods and things along those lines. But to me, is the math, the underwriting. Because if you're not walking into a deal that's going to benefit you in the long run, hell, even the short term, then it's not a deal. And now I know one of the biggest things right now, interest rates are at 7%, 8%, whatever it may be. I don't even pay attention.
Yeah.
Now, I may pay a little attention because my clients notice it. But here's what I would say. If you're an investor and you find a deal and it's at an 8% interest rate and you're cash flowing at 2,500, isn't that still a deal? So that's the
Yeah.
biggest part when it comes to underwriting. So I would say if you underwrite a deal correctly, you're going to be able to get into that particular deal. You're going to build equity in that deal. So if it's okay with you, I'd like to bring a quick example because I like to bring real stuff into, situations like this. So I brought a duplex. I brought that duplex for 90,000. In that duplex, I put it 25,000 to rehab it. Now this duplex, it needed some sprucing it up. So all in all, I'm in it. Let's just say withholding costs and closing costs, I'm in it for 123,000. Now I get an appraiser. The appraiser comes out to the property. They say it's worth 230,000. Now I'm able to get my money back that I put in this particular property. So all the 123,000, I get that back in my hand. Now, not only is the property cash flowing because I made sure I underwrote it correctly, so it's bringing in a solid amount as far as cash flow, but I got a little over 100K in equity. Now, what I could do with that equity is I could do numerous things. I could go to a bank and say, hey, this bank is awesome. I want to do business with you. I have this particular property. Will you guys be willing to do a line of credit? Now, just by you asking that, you're creating a relationship potentially. Because
Yes.
once one bank says yes, that's going to get you where you need to be with your other properties. So, for example, with this particular property, if I go to a bank and I'm able to get a line of credit off that equity I built in my previous purchase, now I can go ahead and buy a property, let's say for 50,000. I know these prices are real tough nowadays, especially in Southern Maine. But if I'm able to go ahead and buy a property for 50,000 and I'm able to put 30,000 in there, I just use my line of credit. This is not even my money.
Yeah.
This is a relationship I have with the bank. And if we refi that particular property, and let's say it appraises for 180, then I get that money back. My line of credit's wiped out. So every particular property I'm getting into, I'm using other, like, for example, bank's money or maybe a family member who has a lot saved up. I'm using that money to be able to purchase, ready to rehab, and then I refi. I'm getting all that money back. Now I have an asset that has built equity into that property, and I just keep cycling the process. And many of you are probably sitting here like, Gus, you're talking about the Burr process. You're damn right. That Burr process has helped me out tremendously.
Yeah, you're really, really good at leveraging that way. And that's why I wanted you to share that with people so that people can see how attainable it is. I've started learning a little bit more and I don't want to go into it, but the sub two loans also,
Mm-hmm.
which is another cool thing that I want to bring in front of my viewers as an attainable way to get some investment property. So you have a lot of experience. First of all, how many years did it take you to get your 49 units? Because I know it wasn't a lot.
I've been investing since August of 2020.
That's awesome. I was up in Bangor at some concert. Oh, a Stevie Nicks concert. It was like a year ago, and I saw Gus's name on the big sign over there at his brokerage. I was like, "Yep, this guy. I got to talk
I
to him."
appreciate
So,
it.
what is one mistake that you have made? Because I know you're really transparent that other people can avoid when they're getting into the investment process.
So I wouldn't want to say this is a mistake, but I wish I could go back in time and kind of do it differently. And that's when just the property I talked about, the 5-unit property, because I was so busy being a real estate agent, I thought, hey, I can't manage this thing right now. Let me put it with a property management team. And my property management team does a great job. So I want to say that first and foremost, especially if they're hearing this. The main real estate, you guys do a great job. The reason why I bring that up because I wish I did that one. And the reason why, because that property was turnkey. I got it for a good price. I put 20% down, so it makes the price even better that I got it for. But I would have been able to learn a lot more instead of passing into the property management and taking 6, 7, 8 months to learn off of them how being a landlord is. So if I could say one thing, if you have the capabilities, when you buy your first property, manage it yourself. And it may not be your long-term goal, but you'll see how everything works, how the money, when you receive that money, how it's being dispersed, and things along those lines. So I would definitely say manage a property first.
Yeah, that's actually really good information. So I'm gonna throw you off because I did not give you this
So
question ahead of time,
I love
but
it.
I know
I
you'll
love it.
still,
I love
I
it.
know you're good on the fly and you'll still share. So share with me. I shared my toilet water raining into my unit story yesterday, I think. So share with me one of your landlord horror stories.
I made a video about it. So I brought a fourplex property, and the sewer line to the street actually went to in the backyard to the street behind it. And we found out that the sewer line cracked, and so we had a popular company. I don't want to start shouting names out because the next part I'm going to say is not going to be the nicest. So we had a sorry. So we had a popular company that came and said, "Hey, the sewer lines, busted in the back. We're going to open one of the vents in the basement. So when, the individuals in the house are using the plumbing, instead of it backing up into the toilets and into the tubs, it's going to back up into the basement." And I'm like, wow, okay, we're getting extreme. That same company said, "Gus, we need to fix this as soon as possible. And this was on a Thursday. We can fix it this Saturday, and it's going to be $27,000." And I'm like, holy crap, $27,000. That's a lot of money. Maybe for some people watching, it's not a lot. To me, that's a whole lot of money. And it wasn't prepared. I save a lot of money that I get from the investments just for situations like this, but it wasn't planned. When things aren't planned, you kind of don't like it. Um, so I said, you know what? Let me shop around, and yes, take that vent off in the basement and let me see what else I can find out there. So they took the vent off. I went back on that same Saturday just to check it out. Let's call it doo-doo. feces, all over the basement was flooded, not super high. I would say like 4 or 5 inches of a lot of interesting floating
Oh my
characters
God.
in the water, or I guess you would call it somewhat water. But yeah, so I'm going there. I jump to Lowe's. I buy equipment. I make sure I'm dressed appropriately to be walking in something so gross like this. And I I'm a hands off landlord or
Yeah.
property owner. So I know you're hands on 100%. I've been watching
I live
your
in the
videos.
same building as my tenant, so
I'm
yeah, I have to.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't even know how to do it here. None of that. So I went in there. I looked it up. I YouTubed it on what I need to do. Went to Lowe's. The guy helped me get out everything. I got the hose, got the pump. I went in there and I pumped that whole thing out. So it was like a it was like a moment right there. It's like, oh shoot, like I really did this. Now I was probably didn't smell the best because I had all these feces all over me, but at the
Oh
same
my
time,
God.
I was kind of shocked I did it. But I did
Yeah.
it. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I was saying, yeah, it's one of those wins, right?
Yeah, it's like, oh, I can really do this if I put my mind into it and I do research on it. So I had to do that like 3, 4 times, and I was able to go ahead. I got 2 other quotes for 14,000. Then I got a quote for a little less, about 6,000.
Wow.
So if I didn't trust my capabilities and build up a foundation of people around me where I say, no, I'm not going to take this particular price. I'm going to see what else is out there and make those connections I made in the past and get it for a fraction of the price it was before. I would have been in a tough situation.
Yeah.
And it only takes one tough situation to make you an investor, to you're selling your place or bankruptcy or anything horrible. So that was, to this day, the hardest, toughest thing as an owner.
I think every landlord horror story involves poop.
Yeah. No.
I haven't heard one that doesn't.
What, do you have one real quick? I don't think I've
Yeah,
heard yours.
I got woken up. So I sleep with AirPods in my ears. I'm sure it's not advisable, but I do. On like the noise canceling, so I don't hear anything. So I'm sound asleep. It's a Monday night, and I'm a brand new landlord. So this wasn't that long ago, and I hear rain, and I was like, wow, I never. It woke me up. I never hear anything with these things on. I take it off. I hear rain and it's like right next to my head. Yeah, my tenant's toilet got clogged and was raining down into my
Oh, my
bathroom, which is
goodness.
right next to my bed. And so I wake up, I check my phone. I'm like, what's going on? And there's a text from an hour ago saying, hey, I clogged the toilet, but I think I got it fixed. And it's still like coming down. So it was 11 o'clock at night. Went upstairs, couldn't get it unclogged. And I wound up having to go to Home Depot the next day. I YouTubed, Googled, because I
Mhm,
couldn't get a
mhm.
plumber out there. And I went to Home Depot, bought a toilet auger, learned how to use a toilet auger, and I saved the day.
Do you, well, in that situation, and I'll ask you because me and you on here, do you
Yeah.
think that made you better as an investor? And I think that's the biggest part. You know, if, especially on Instagram, you go on there and it looks, you see guys jumping out of brand new vehicles and wearing these fancy suits and all this other stuff. But to me, at least the life I live, investing isn't that. Investing is you're on the phone dealing with issue after issue after issue after issue.
Yes.
Yes, is it helping you out in the long run? It's beneficial, taxes, generational wealth, things along those lines, 100%. But the day-to-day grind, to me, I feel like I'm more surviving than I am prospecting as far as trying to make it as far as an investor.
Yeah.
It's a very grueling game.
Yeah. I have really enjoyed talking to you. I know the viewers have really enjoyed this. And so I would like to definitely bring you back at some point if you would be so kind.
100%. Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
I'm going to put all of your contact information in the comments on here, and I'm going to put this on my YouTube, and so I'll put your contact information there. So why don't you tell everybody what areas you service, because you are my go-to referral for all those areas up in the Northern Maine section.
So anything, I would say anything north of Augusta, me and my guys, I got two other agents I work with, Alec McGuire and Zach. We just, you know, when we have opportunities to be able to help someone out with the hugest purchase that they're probably going to make in their life, we take that on as a challenge. So if you're ever in the great state of Maine, it's a beautiful state, by the way, and you're, you know, Northern Maine, Eastern Maine, even Central Maine will go down there also. We'll be willing to help you guys out.
Awesome. Thank you, Gus. You have a great day. Stay warm out there. I know it's freezing down here.
Definitely. What's the temperature down there?
I don't know, but it was like 20 something.
I'm going to fit this in. So one of the properties that we're not rehabbing yet, I had someone clear it out yesterday, and I was like, hey, make sure the water is drizzling.
Yeah.
So this we're prepared. And this young man told me, hey, Gus, the water's not coming out. I was like, let's try the tub, and let's try the sink in the bathroom. Gus, that's not working either. It's making this weird noise. So
Oh no.
so right after this, I'm headed over there to see what lovely fun we're having, and maybe in this part two, I'll be telling that story. So
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
definitely. Thank you so much. Good luck with
Thank
that.
you.
All right. Bye, Gus.